All right, live from Studio 6B. What's wrong, Aaron? Live from Studio 6B. Yeah, I know. It's Delgado trying to dance. On a Wednesday night, September 25th, 8 p.m. on the East Coast, Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Rick Delgado's here, trying to dance, do the robot. He's going to also do the news, hopefully better than he does the robot.
That was my big dance when I was a kid.
I'll bet it was.
I was awesome at it.
Kevin Downey Jr. is here. He's going to do some news as well. Slick Rick will do some sports. Aaron and Fran are holding it down as always. Mr. Delgado, how are you? Now you're miming.
Stuck in this TV. I can't get out. I'm good.
Yeah? Why are you good?
I'm good. It just dawned on me how old I am now.
Is today your birthday?
No.
Oh.
Because remember how I said you're old when you start shopping for clothes in Costco? And I bought like a swim trunk there, like in May.
Uh-huh.
Swim trunks, whatever.
That was the first sign.
Now it's progressed underwear.
Okay.
So now I'm buying my underwear at Costco.
I think calling them trunks is the first sign of old age.
That could be that too.
My grandfather had swimming trunks.
I wasn't going to say I want
Put your trunks on.
Speedo shopping at Costco.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Costco's got some good stuff.
They do actually.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with my purchase.
You ever seen a Costco that actually has wine?
Yes.
Holy Moses.
Yeah. Boy, is that section of the store busy.
Crazy. One by me doesn't have that, but. So it's Nacho Wednesday tonight, and Delgado brought his favorite nachos into the studio.
That's right. Meaty goodness.
Yes. Kevin Downey Jr., how are you?
I'm groovy, thanks.
How was your day?
Can't complain. Banged out 3 articles for PJ Media. Check those out. The more you read, the more bourbon I get to buy. And we'll be running through a couple of them later tonight. There's a lot going on.
Okay, very good.
There's
a lot going on. I like that slogan. The more you read, the more bourbon I can buy. I like that. That's good. So I don't know if this is a strategy or if this is just because she's so stupid. But I have never heard an incumbent speak as if they're the challenger the way Kamala Harris is speaking today at her own detriment. At least it seems to me to be. I don't know if anybody else is picking up on this.
Mm-hmm. I think it's part of their plan because Tim Walz says we can't afford 4 more years of this.
Yeah, Walt says that the other day. We can't afford 4 more years of this. And then Biden, who clearly at this point you have to, if he has whatever brain cells he has left, he's gearing them towards making sure she loses, and so he could say, "Well, I told you so." Matt Margolis, speaking of PJ Media, has an article about that today. I'll get to that if we have some time as well. But I mean, she's out there today. She speaks at some, I don't know if it was in New York, or in D.C., the Economic Forum, someplace, with a banner behind her that says Economic Forum, which is just laughable in itself, the whole idea of her speaking about economics. But she talks as if they're not the incumbent.
Yeah. It's great.
And then she goes on Stephanie Ruhle, which we knew was going to be a joke. As I said last night, she might as well have sat down with Biden across from him. He would have thought he was talking to the Pope, and she would have just still been able to answer no questions. I was raised in a middle-class family.
I was born as a poor black child.
But she goes on there and talks about as if they haven't held the White House 12 of the last 16 years.
Yeah.
As if they haven't held the White House for the last 3.5 years. As if they haven't overseen everything that's happened in the last 3.5 years. Today she says something to the effect of, well, we have to put all these policies to bed that we've proven don't work.
Why don't we put you to bed?
Right on, sister. We agree.
Put you to bed. Why don't you put your head on the pillow, wrap yourself up, go to sleep for the next 4 years, and let us deal with the big problems that you caused.
We absolutely agree with that statement.
Yeah.
If you want to know, by the way, how the Stephanie Ruhle interview went, it went exactly as you thought it would go. And if you didn't see this part, let me just give you a little smidge of how tough the questioning was. Maybe I'll actually put the audio through so you can hear it.
That would be nice.
How we start the interview.
The first one, just a fact check.
Okay, maybe I am not doing something right. I don't know.
I thought I heard that one.
I heard it.
Yeah.
Is that one coming through?
Yeah.
Okay, it's also
It
coming
was
through.
very loud on your
The first one, just a fact check. Because your opponent
There is
almost
no little
every
job.
day.
There's no such thing as a little job.
Okay, fair. Because your opponent almost every day seems to be talking about this. So I just want to ask you yes or no. At any point in your life, have you served 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions, on a sesame seed bun, working at a McDonald's? Yes or no? That's it.
I have.
Okay, now the other job. But
it was not a small job. Like, I did the fries. I mean, yes,
These were
but
small
I did.
periods. The first one.
So there you go. Kev, what do you think?
Well,
does that inspire you to want to see the rest of it?
It's moments like this when I see hard-hitting journalism that I'm glad I got into politics and left that career of comedy, drugs, sex, booze, debauchery behind so that I could be just like her when I grow up. I'm kidding. I'm still doing comedy. That's painful. That's embarrassing. Come on. It reminds me of the debate where I believe Kamala's best friends with the person running ABC.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think a sorority sister on the panel.
Yeah.
It's all a big club, and I don't want to be a part of that club anyway.
I mean, at any point in your career, have you served 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese? Was the opening question of the interview.
I'm surprised
The only thing Stephanie Rule didn't do in this interview was go over and sit on her lap. That's the only thing.
I'm surprised she didn't start off with her first answer for all these questions is, well, I was born in a middle-class family.
Yeah.
True or false, Kamala?
Right.
Is Wednesday Prince Spaghetti Day? Yeah, it's Prince Spaghetti Day. I admit it.
I mean,
But what was great? Did you see Biden on The View? I caught just a couple clips of that, and I think, and this is where the
his
Trump
last
team.
chance to be the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah, this is where the Trump team basically wins. All they did was take 10 seconds of him talking, and they made it a new ad. And it's incredible. We've got it here, cut number 11. It explains who Kamala is, what her experience is, everything she's going to do with this new Trump ad that Joe Biden actually is the star of. It's cut number 11. Check it out.
And as vice president, there wasn't a single thing that I did that she couldn't do. Mm-hmm. And so I was able to delegate her responsibility on everything from foreign policy to domestic policy.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
There you go. From foreign policy to domestic policy, he delegated that to her. How you doing, America?
Was that on purpose?
Well, that's the. Well, I don't know, Delgado. So what's the point? What do you take from that clip?
I take from that the Trump team is on top of everything. Everything that comes out of their mouths, they're on top of. But also, it could be Joe taking a little stab, kind of hanging her out to dry, saying, everything that's associated with me is associated with her. Basically, kind of giving them the middle finger. Hey, you push me out. Here's what you get. Yeah, I'll support you. I'll campaign for you. I'll go on The View for you. But I might take some shots if I can remember how to do it.
I agree. I think that was on purpose. I think he just put a hold in Kamala's boat. And there's no way. There's no way. He's been doing this too long. There's no way that was an accident. He hates her. She hates him.
Yeah.
They're in a power struggle. I heard they want him to drop out, and he refuses. And someone else said if Kamala does take the White House, then it really is on her the last 4 years.
Right.
But he just said it was on her.
Yeah. Because he said he delegated, foreign policy, domestic policy, and everything you're seeing that's happening to this country is on him and on her. And he made sure he said it. Which is odd because, the only mistakes he usually makes are in his pants. I don't think he's going to do that, as a mistake there.
Well, so that leads me to Matt Margolis today. I was going to get to this later, but since we jumped right to it, and that's the clip that he also used to say, well, is Joe Biden about to sabotage Kamala Harris?
There you go.
Yeah. And he says, we've known for weeks that Biden is still bitter about being forced out of the 2024 presidential election. According to reports, his endorsement of Harris was a revenge move against Barack Obama and Nancy Pelosi, both of whom wanted an open process to pick the next candidate. At the time, it was leaked that Obama withheld his endorsement of Kamala at first because he doesn't believe Kamala can actually beat Trump. And Biden's sudden support of her always felt backhanded at best, especially in light of reports that she was part of the plan to force him out of the election. According to Seymour Hersh, Obama reportedly called Biden one morning and told him, "Here's the deal. We have Kamala's approval to use the 25th Amendment. If Harris was part of this backroom deal to sideline Biden, it stands to reason that Biden doesn't really want her to be president. Frankly, I don't think he really wanted her as vice president. But that's a whole nother issue for a whole nother time. In any case, I believe Biden is likely fancying some sort of revenge. You know how Kamala Harris is touting her new way forward, he says, on the campaign trail as she desperately tries to separate herself from the failures of the Biden-Harris administration. Well, during an appearance on The View today, Joe Biden completely undercut that effort. Quote, "As vice president, there wasn't a single thing that I did that she couldn't do," Biden said. "So I was able to delegate her responsibility on everything from foreign policy to domestic policy." Upon entering the race, Harris saw a surge in popularity and a surge in election matchup polls as she avoided the media and sought to present herself as the change candidate. But it sure looks like Joe Biden doesn't want to let her do that. And more than one person made this observation today, that clearly he hates her, and clearly he wants her to lose so he can say, "Well, I told you so."
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what everybody took from that exact clip that you played.
His outgoing revenge. Even the Trump, like I said, the Trump team was on it. They're using it as an ad, online ad, which is brilliant.
And Margolis rightly points out, when you look at that comment, I mean, you can easily see that he's deeply wounded by the fact that what they did to him, and I mean, he will never say this, but is this his way to say, "Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Whatever brain cells I have left?
Yeah. Eat my shorts, basically. Is what he's saying.
Yeah. Get off my lawn and eat my shorts.
Yeah.
Because I'll get back at you."
Yeah. And he's doing it.
He also said, someone said, "Are you mad that Nancy chased you out, Pelosi?" And you go, "No, not at all. Do you think you could have won?" "Oh, I could have won. Sure, I could have won."
He asked Pelosi. She says, "Well, it wasn't open. There was an open primary."
Right.
What? Excuse me?
Yeah. The people voted and Kamala won. Nobody knew about that.
Really?
Nobody actually went out and voted, but I guess to Nancy, in her alcoholic state, that's what it looks like.
Yeah. Slick, how are you?
Doing good, Big D.
All right, very good. We'll do some sports with Slick News. All coming up when we get back live from Studio 6B, just getting started on a Wednesday night.
Half an hour just to get in to get to the bar. Oh my God, just saying hello to people. That's life on Long Island. What can I tell you? It's a very small island.
All right, if you're in the chat, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, whatever platform you're watching on. We appreciate it.
How was the show this morning? Did you do a show this morning?
Yeah.
Was it good?
I don't know, I guess.
I was in a meeting. I couldn't catch it. I got to catch it. You doing one tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get up, try to get up and catch that. Was Vin on this morning? No.
No. I think he's going to, I'm not sure when he's coming on in the morning. He's going to be on here Friday night.
You doing anything tomorrow night? Because we have the Steve Gruber event, right?
Yeah, I'm going to do something.
Okay. I'm going to do something. I'm going to watch the Cowboys blow the Giants out. Lord hope.
Maybe I'll do a combination of watch the game on stream. And then
hold on. Let me call Slick Rick. I'm going to phone a friend. You got a lifeline, Slick Rick?
Maybe I'll call you to join me tomorrow night while you're watching the game.
That'd be fun.
Can we set up a camera so I can get some live reactions from the Slickster?
We could do that.
Okay.
in that house. Oof. I'll have Kramer hanging out with me.
What's the deal with that morning show? Well, the deal is that I go live right around 9 a.m. every morning on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Rumble. You're welcome to join.
Yes, you could be laying in bed and Damon will join you.
Nice.
Still in bed at 9 a.m.?
Some people are.
Delgado's
I'd love to be.
Delgado's having lunch at that point.
Yeah, at that point,
He's
geez.
making dinner plans at 9 a.m.
Where do we stand on the odds makers, Aaron? You're clearly in the lead at what, 9-9?
Ah, whoa, she's running away with it.
Slick's
Look,
what, like
I'm
5?
coming.
What's Slick, like 5-40?
No, 5-4, 5-13. I'm gonna
5-13,
listen.
gotcha.
It's early, buddy. I'm gonna come back. You'll see. I was the champion last year. I'll come back and win it again. Shit, come
Is
on.
it a subscription, Damon? No. No. It's
He wishes.
no, not done.
Come on. No, we do everything for free here. What are you talking about? Right, Big D?
Soon. That's a good one, Slick. That's a good one.
Come out. Oh, they're getting a big hurricane down in Florida area, huh? That's
And it's
coming
huge.
in. Yeah,
What is it,
that's-
Helene, I think is the name?
Gosh, we pray for them, man. That's
Coming in Category 4 through the Gulf.
Those
Ooh,
storms are hell.
looks rough.
Oh, they're hell. My God, I hope.
It
pray for
looks
those.
like it's going to be rough.
Coming up the Gulf, right?
Yeah.
Where, Tampa? Was it looking at? Was it?
Yeah, Tampa Airport's already closed down.
My brother-in-law lives in Tampa.
All right, 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. I was born in a middle-class family, just so you know. 17 past the hour. We'll do some sports with Slick coming up here. Kevin Downey Jr. will have some news as well. But right now, let's start this segment by doing some news with Rick Delgado. News is brought to you by our friends over at 7 Cells, 7cells.com. Use code LFS6B at checkout. 10% off whatever you put in your cart. Good stuff over there for your skin, for your health, weight loss, all of it over at 7cells.com. Check them out. 7 is spelled out SEVEN. CELLS, 7cells.com. Use code LFS6B. Delgado, what's going on?
All right. Well, I've got a big story about what went down with the January 6th Michael Horowitz, the IG. 3 clips from Thomas Massey, who basically gets him to admit certain things without him actually admitting it, which is great. So we'll do that. We'll do that when we have more time to do it. Because
Because that's one of my stories.
Okay.
From Just the News tonight.
yeah, it was amazing. So we'll cover that. Excuse me, in just a little bit. In the meantime, though, I don't know if you saw this. Images show a UFO downed by U.S. fighter jet in Canadian airspace days after a Chinese spy craft incident. Yeah, believe it or not, this is just came out about 20 minutes before the showtime here. Image of a UFO was shot down by a U.S. fighter jet over Canada last year. This was released just earlier today. The blurry photo, which appears to be a photocopy of an email printout of an unidentified cylindrical object, was captured as it hovered in the air in February of 2023, days before it was shot down over Canada's Yukon territory, which borders Alaska, according to CTV News. The news outlet obtained the image through a Freedom of Information request from Canada's Department of National Defense. So they were kind of sitting on it and forced to give it up there, Damon. The object initially drifted from Alaska into Canada in their airspace, and the North American Aerospace Defense Command first detected the high-altitude airborne object flying at about 40,000 feet. It was shot down February 11, 2023, and was one of 3 aerial objects brought down that month after the downing of the Chinese surveillance balloon days earlier. So there you have that. If you've got questions regarding that. Well, they're not saying what it was. They're just saying it was an unidentified flying a UFO in layman's terms.
Maybe someone was playing horseshoes and they got a picture of it flying in the air. Maybe that's what it is.
Could be.
Because that's what that looks like to me.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I've seen pictures, other pictures of this, that type of object from other videos and stuff. So it's not something that, when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, that looks familiar. I've seen that before.
I think some redneck threw a toilet seat in the air and his friend took a picture of it. Notice every time we see a picture of a flying saucer or a Bigfoot, it's always blurry. We have better cameras on our phones than my dad had on Christmas when I was a kid.
Right.
Exactly right.
All right, so it could be a toilet seat. I don't know. But I'm going to go with UFO. Until it's identified, we're going to call
story.
it a UFO.
Okay.
And another quick
Flush
one from I'm going to flush you.
Good luck.
Anyhow, from Just the News, 10 Democrats joined Republicans in rebuking Biden officials over the Afghan withdrawal. I don't know if you saw this. This happened earlier today as well. The House Democrats voted with the Republicans to rebuke the senior Biden administration officials over the highly criticized withdrawal of Afghanistan in 2021. The measure passed 219 to 194. The bill listed 15 current and former Biden administration officials, including President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, that fellow that runs that outfit over there, Lloyd Austin, Jen Psaki, John Kirby, and Anthony Blinken, among others. At every step, the administration prioritized the optics, they said, and politics of withdrawal over the security. I feel like we've heard this this complaint of optics versus security. Oh, that's right. It was last night with John Solomon when he was here talking about January 6th and how Donald Trump's orders for safety and security around the Capitol were disregarded. Rather than admit their failure, this administration continues to this day to celebrate their deadly evacuation. Never once have they said, "I'm sorry," to the Gold Star families. The 10 Democrats who joined the Republicans included Jared Golden of Maine, Mary Pertola of Alaska, I can't pronounce that guy's name, Greg Landsman of Ohio, Jeff Jackson of North Carolina, according to Fox News, and the House Foreign Affairs ranking member Gregory Meeks led the opposition to the bill, of course. So there you have it. Two quick stories regarding things that are going on. You know, let's face it. Like I said, last night, John Solomon came on quick, at a moment's notice to talk about the breaking news from yesterday, and this falls in line exactly with that. It's always the optics. They don't care what the security is. They just want it to look good. And that's what you're stuck with when you've got these empty suits and the cackler in the White House. So
yeah. All right, we'll do some more news here. 22 past the hour with Delgado coming up. Let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell, MyPillow, mypillow.com/LFS6B for all the best deals for this audience. And of course, the code to use at checkout is LFS6B. That's your promo code. Great savings at checkout. Slick, what's going on?
All right, Big D, Major League Baseball. Let's get to the scoreboard. 5 games left in the season. Season winding down. Sunday is the end, and then we got the playoffs in October, and that'll be the first week next week. Cubs and Phillies right now. Phillies lead that game 9-5, bottom of 7. We have end of the 7, Guardians over the Reds 2-1 in Cleveland. The Pirates lead the Brewers 2-1 as well. Top of the 7th. Brewers actually already clinched that division. Tigers over the Rays 3-1, top of the 6th. Royals blanking the Nationals 3-0, top 7. Bottom 4, Orioles bombing the Yankees 7-1. Orioles looking to get on a win streak here. They might take the division from the Yankees. Could never know, Rick. They're only 5 games out right now.
Only 5 with 5 to play.
Yeah, well, look at that. Tonight's the first step. Blue Jays 2-0 over the Red Sox. That's in the bottom of the 5th. Top 3rd, White Sox 2-0 over the Angels. Marlins lead the Twins 3-0, top of the 3rd. Earlier today, the Mariners in Houston down the Astros 8-1. Cardinals taking on the Rockies at 8:40. 9:40, Giants visit Arizona Diamondbacks. Then we have the Rangers out in Oakland taking on the A's, the soon-to-be Las Vegas A's, or if they keep that name. 9:40 first pitch. And Padres Dodgers 10-10 first pitch. That'll be the last game of the night for the Major League Baseball run. I'll get to a couple of quick stories here. Well, here we go. NBA announces partnership with yet another repressive regime. Warner Todd Houston of Breitbart. The National Basketball Association has announced that it is partnering with yet another oppressive regime as it continues its development deal with Abu Dhabi, a country with a history of human rights violations. Despite media inquiries over the far left-wing sports organization, world partner with a country that suppresses political dissent, religion, and free speech, NBA Deputy Commissioner Mark Tatum tried to walk a tightrope over the issue by claiming that the league somehow opposes human rights abuses, yet still has no problem teaming up with Abu Dhabi. We condemn human rights violations wherever they occur, Tatum said. However, to the New York Times, Tatum added, the league's engagement through sports is overwhelmingly positive, as if that engagement might help bring the Muslim community into line with Western values. Okay. Indeed, that claim has been a mainstay of the NBA, even if it continues to partner with oppressive regimes such as China, Rwanda. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver has tried to claim that this engagement will bring oppressive regime toward reform. In 2021, Silver claimed the engagement is better than isolation when dealing with China. This is a weak excuse when the NBA has spent years supporting efforts to criticize America and Americans who they think are not sufficiently progressive on left-wing social issues. This is the same pabulum with that Silver doled out to the media in 2019 when the left-wing NBA rose as a whole to smack down former Houston Rocket manager Daryl Morey, now with the Sixers, right, who dared to post a simple tweet reading, "Fight for freedom, stand with Hong Kong in support of the pro-democracy movement, trying to keep freedom alive after Red China took the country over from Great Britain." So very interesting. NBA, again, aligning with bad values, Big D, as always.
NBA,
unfortunately.
UFC is doing Abu Dhabi.
Yep.
Live Golf.
Too much.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
Sacrificing principles.
All right, more news. Kevin Downey Jr. coming up live from Studio 6B on a Wednesday night. All right, we're live in the socials. Whatever you're watching on, hit the like and subscribe. Let's go to the chat. Jody on Facebook. Hello, guys. I really enjoy your show and you do an excellent job. Good to see Kevin Downey Jr. back on the show.
Thank you, Jody.
Daryl King says, "What's up, Delgado?" Delgado's out making love to his nachos.
Oh, he's got nachos? Oh, not those ones that have been in the refrigerator for a week.
No, he's got new ones.
Oh, okay.
Yes, those will get thrown out today, and the new ones will take their place.
There you go. Fran just gave you the word.
Becky says, "I am baking, Damon." Ooh, that sounds good. What are you baking?
Ooh.
Damon, I still want my ornament. Stop.
Oh, that ornament's taking on a life of its own. It's life of its gnome.
Adam says, "Hey D, you've been in a great mood for 3 nights in a row. Congratulations." What stop laughing, Aaron. I've been in a good mood for how many days in a year? 365 times 10 years doing this show?
Yeah,
365,000 days.
Yeah, 3 days.
Or maybe an hour and a half. Stop it.
Big D. Come on.
Oatmeal raisin cookies, chocolate chip cookies, bread, and ribs.
Ribs?
What a combination.
Wow.
That sounds like dinner and dessert.
Yes, please.
Man.
Eileen Kenny says, "I'm baking Damon gnome cookies tonight."
Ah, nice.
Stop it.
I'd love to see those. You should send a picture.
We get the point.
And it ain't on top of his head.
Exactly. That gnome ornament could take on a life of its own.
Yes, it could.
But we have to
3,650 days.
Pieces.
That's what I meant. What did I say? 365,000?
I don't know.
I thought that was the minimum. I thought that was the minimum order from Hong Kong for gnomes.
Yeah.
You want Christmas
BBQ
gnome?
Rando says, "Harry, get off your ass."
And get some gnomes.
Harry's out of town.
Harry's
right?
in Michigan.
Oh, Michigan. There you go. Kevin.
Big RFK tomorrow night. RFK Jr.
That's still on.
And our own Steve Gruber tomorrow night. Right here on Rev.
Nice.
We'll have the night off, although I will be streaming. And anybody can join me who they want. Math is hard. Yes, math was hard for me. Ask my mom.
Yeah.
right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Wednesday night. Math, we were just talking in the break about math is hard. I did some quick calculations and I was way off. I was disproving of that old math and music go hand in hand. You ever hear that growing up?
Of course.
Your math and music?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was the exception to that.
Well, you were.
I was.
Freelancer, huh?
I had the music part down.
Yeah.
And the math part never
didn't add up.
Never materialized, huh?
Exactly.
Never materialized. As Mr. Kurowski in Weathersfield High School could account for. Yes, it was not good. You know when you get an F on your paper? Back in the day, you used to get an F, right?
And then
Written on the paper.
Try to make it an A.
And I was thinking back, and I was thinking, why did I go for the A and not just go for the B, which would have been much easier to get out of the F, right?
And a little bit more believable.
Yeah. Although there's a video now on social media these days where somebody is an expert in doing that, and they take the F and make it an A+, and it looks great. And see, if I had TikTok back in the day, I would have gotten away with it. I would have been much smoother.
Yes.
But I went for the A, and it was.
But now you're really smooth. You're really good.
Well, now you can't do anything because now you've got these apps and everything. The moment the kids do something, me and their mother know about it.
Yeah.
Every grade, everything. If you're late 5 seconds to class, if you're everything, it's right through the app. Ding.
That's right.
I know about it.
You're in the gnome.
I would have been. As I'm sure all of four of us would have. I would have just been totally screwed. Could you imagine?
No.
Oh my God.
Man.
I would have been in more trouble than I was already.
I could never have grown up in that generation. No way.
Oh man, would have been rough. So
yeah, I was more of the. I was too afraid to do anything. I had the fear of God put into me very early on.
Yeah,
with a belt named Charlie.
Really, Charlie?
Yes.
Oh, talk about that. You got a calcium to lay down.
Was your dad a Vietnam vet?
No.
Oh, here comes Charlie. Now you're going to get it.
Checkpoint, Charlie.
Charlie. Look what Charlie
We
can do.
spank you a long time.
That would be incoming, all right.
Yeah.
Well, see, David Barnett says I signed my own report card.
Hey, smart man.
We were all in the same boat.
Yeah,
Well, you know what? Some kids were like latchkey kids, right?
Yeah.
They'd come home and the parents would be out working, so it'd be like, well, if any bad mail comes, it's intercepted automatically.
Well, yeah, of course. Of course.
If you were my son, I would have threw the keys away. What are you talking about, latch keys?
All right, let's do some news with the host of the Kevin Downey Jr. Show. 10 to 11, weekdays right here in Long Island, New York on WLInews.com. You can check it out there online, 103.9 WLI. What are the call letters?
It's LInewsRadio.com.
LI News Radio.
Get it together.
Boy.
Come on.
I was thinking WLI News, but that's all right. It's LInews.com, and that's Kevin Downey. What's going on?
Thank you. LInewsRadio.com.
Whatever.
Details.
Here's what I got.
I'll get it.
Mail-in voting collapses for the Democrats, explodes for the GOP. I shall read in my broadcaster's voice. Mail-in voting for Democratic candidates in 3 key states has collapsed after being a major force for the party in the 2020 presidential election. And it says here, according to the data, Democratic requests for mail-in ballots are down by 5% in Florida, almost 15% in North Carolina, and a whopping 35% in Pennsylvania. Now, why is this important? Well, obviously, Pennsylvania is not only a battleground state, that is the war state. Kamala needs it. If she gets it, Trump has other ways. If she doesn't get it, Trump wins. North Carolina, of course, also a battleground state. Now, having voters cast ballots early means party election managers can focus on a get-out-the-vote strategy for those who will typically wait until Election Day to make their decision. So basically, a lot of people don't know this. If you vote early, your name gets taken off the list of people who hasn't voted. So you're going to stop getting those text messages, and you're going to stop getting those mailers, and that's the expensive part. You can save Trump millions of dollars by voting early. And says here, the campaigns are now sophisticated enough that once you go vote, they get to save money. Everyone knows what's going on. And this looks like a potential bloodbath for Pennsylvania. Also, Early voting is up for the GOP. Scott Pressler's got people voting in Pennsylvania right now. He's been working on this. He's flipped Luzerne County, which was always blue. Now it's red. This is nothing but good news. And in that neighborhood, an Ohio cookie bakery chain, three outlets. It's called Buskin Bakery. They sell cookies. They've got Kamala cookies. They've got Trump cookies. They have predicted every election since 1984, with the exception of 2020 because the Democrats cheated. And right now, based on cookie sales alone, and you can get these shipped to you no matter where you live.
It's overwhelming.
It's 54% for Biden, 39% for Kamala Harris. Now, it says here, I love this. Is my favorite part. This is unscientific.
What was the first number?
Who was running the first?
It was 54 to 39.
54 for who?
Crummy story.
Trump.
For who?
Trump.
Oh, okay. Trump.
Now it's Trump.
Yeah, it's 54% for Trump, 39 for Kamala. It says unscientific.
Crumbles,
I remember someone in 2016 saying Hillary's got a 91% chance of winning. Now, I'm going to call that unscientific. I'm going to say these cookie eaters are far more intelligent than anything Nate Silver's going to come up with. And that's I've got more polling stuff that actually doesn't involve cookies.
Damn it! Well, that doesn't sound. That doesn't.
Oh, I've got some polling stuff up as well. Go along with what you're doing. If you could throw my screen up in the middle box, Aaron, because I did this morning actually, and I was actually surprised because I hadn't done this in a while, and we've been talking about Trump's coattails in certain places, and you go through the Senate races. Lake Gallego, the RCP average right now is Gallego 4.1. Rasmussen has him +2. New York Times Siena has him +6. Hill Emerson +6. Trafalgar +4. Insider Advantage +4. CNN +3. And you go down and you look at where she really was closest was somewhere like in around here back in what is this? This is back in July. And boy, since about middle of August, it's just gone. Blue's going up, red's going down. That was about the highest. Now it's come back a little bit. But as you go down here in Arizona, there's not one. There's one tie. Remington Research has it tied. So if they're the outlier, let's hope that they're right. Because other than that, Arizona is not shaping up to be close right now in this Senate race between Lake and Gallego. And I was arguing that in Pennsylvania, why were Trump's coattails not as good for Kari Lake as they are for Dave McCormick? Well, I was in for quite the surprise this morning when I went to the Pennsylvania race. Casey's plus 4.6 overall. And if you go down to all the polls, now again, you can see this race did get much tighter than the Lake Gallego race. But if you go down here, there's no red to be found in Pennsylvania either for McCormick right now. There's places that have them blown out, and there's 4 places, I believe, that have a tie. Well, 3. So McCormick's not doing as well, at least according to, again, we understand the polls. But he's not doing nearly as well as I thought in Pennsylvania either, at least as of right now. So what else do you have, Kev?
Here's a good one. Right now, today, Kamala Harris has 63% of the black vote. And people think, well, that's just great. She's clobbering Trump. But actually, at this time in the election in 2020, Biden had 75%. And she has 19% lead over Latino voters. Biden had 33%. These are bloodbaths. These are bloodbaths. So many black and Hispanic folks coming out for Trump. These are huge numbers. This is a huge drop, going from 75% to 63% over Trump. That's mammoth. But a 19% lead in the Hispanic vote when Biden had a 33%. That says a lot. I think a lot of people aren't playing the whole, what color is this guy or what race is this person. A lot of people are just looking at candidates for who and what they are. A lot of people realize that they were way better off 4 years ago. And it doesn't matter if Kamala identifies as a woman or not. That's what I'm reading here. I mean, a half-black woman losing fewer black votes.
Yeah. Losing the black vote.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Janet Jackson.
Because the other voters are turning to Trump because they identify with Trump.
Yes.
Which is the craziest thing when you stop and think about it. Like 50 Cent talking about how he identifies with Trump. Mm-hmm. How many people that, like 50 Cent or realize his story identify the same way. And we've seen them talk about it. We played the clips. Here's 50 Cent, cut number 6, saying how he identifies with Trump and why. Check it out.
Like Trump gets shot, and then they start playing Many Men, and then it jumps 250% in streaming.
Many men wish death on me.
He's just fight, right? And that's exactly what I did after I got shot. I just went into fight mode. People identify.
Yeah, there you have it. Mm-hmm. Who knew? but they identify with that masculine thing that is so toxic now. You're not supposed to be masculine. Well, you're supposed to be a wiener.
Well, that's why before he ran for president, I mean, Trump was in every rap video you could find.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Over 100 songs had him as a lyric.
Yeah. They all wanted to be him.
Yeah. Absolutely.
They all wanted his life. They all wanted his cars. They all wanted the way he dressed. They all wanted the women he was around. They all wanted all of it.
Yeah. The flash, everything.
Everything. The money, the Benjamins, the real estate, all of it. The cars. And now, of course, well, now it's, it's kind of, you get in a big full circle on some of these guys.
It's starting to come back.
It's almost starting to come back.
True.
I love that there are these rappers. There are a handful of them. I've written about them. They're coming out for Trump. These are not the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air rappers. It's not even Kanye West.
Yeah.
These are rappers that 58-year-old white guys like myself have never heard of, and they're coming out for a 78-year-old white billionaire over the half-black woman who changes her accent so she can sound like she's one of them when she gets in front of well, depending on where you are. I guess if she's in Michigan, she's probably talking the way we did there, right? But they're not going for it. People are seeing through it.
Yeah, exactly right. So, well, we mentioned that Biden was on The View.
Oh,
and
this has got to be Jim.
He was asked about, Nance, and listen to his answer here.
Did you feel that your hand was forced, and what is your relationship with Speaker Pelosi now?
Our relationship is fine. Look, I never fully believed the assertions that somehow there was this overwhelming reluctance of my running again. I didn't sense that. Mm-hmm. And although the polling, as I said, Biden's polling was different, the fact of the matter is my polling was about, we're always within range of beating this guy.
Yeah.
And, what I did was, I think there were, it makes sense. There were some folks who would like to see me step aside so they have a chance to move on. I get that. That's just human nature. But that wasn't the reason that I stepped down. I stepped down because I started thinking about it.
But he got
it's hard to think of, I know you're only 30, but it's hard to think of, it's hard for me to even say how old I am.
Did you feel?
Yeah, that's the reason.
Yeah.
Not that he got a call from Obama saying, well, we've got the 25th, and it's dog track time there, Pops.
Right.
And there's a drone over Hunter's car right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. You ain't pardoning nobody, buddy. What's going on in the socials? Come on.
Yeah, I got to get over there. I've been too busy eating my dinner.
All right, what's going on in the socials? Make sure you smash the like, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, whatever you're watching on X, Facebook, Rumble. Eileen Kenny says she loves the music. Good job, Fran.
Thank you.
YouTube.
On the YouTubes.
I'm on the YouTube.
I'm going to go on to the Rumblers now. Let's see. Here we go.
Hello, Sue on YouTube. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, Damon.
Delgado, how are the nachos?
Oh, they're wonderful. They're tasty. They're delicious.
Are they? Are they fresh?
Oh, my God. Of course. I just bought them.
Oh, you brought them in?
Yes, of course.
Kevin Downey Jr., what's on your shirt tonight? Someone on Facebook wants to know.
I'm going to have to go have one.
A little flag action.
Anything to wash it down with?
Talk to craft services over here.
What's up, Tommy Viper?
Aaron liked that one. What's up there, Rumblers?
Hello,
Painted
Janice
Freak.
on Facebook.
We take care of our people here.
B-Wag.
Come out.
Lizzie Sunshine 14.
Dave on X says when Damon remodels the studio, he's going to be shopping at Gnome Depot.
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
That was a Lowe's
Keep them coming.
one.
Keep them coming.
That was a Lowe's blow.
People love the idea of the
Of a
Christmas ornament.
No, that's
of
not
a
gonna
gnome
work.
line of
Yes.
gadgets.
Worried about
Oh
having
my
to
God.
order 8,000
Imagine having
piece
a
minimum.
gnome cookie jar where you could just take off your gigantic head and find a
Hershey Kisses in there.
Hershey Kisses or cookies or whatever you want.
M&Ms.
You can just fill it with
Peanut
whatever you want.
M&Ms at that.
Yeah. All covered up by gnome head over here. Just pick up his...
I'm sorry,
pick him
by
up
who?
the hat. Pick him up by the hat, and there you go.
Fran, do we have a
Scrumptious
Photoshop of
goodness.
that? Like a high res?
Ooh. Jay
Of what?
Gilmore, 55. How about gnome
No.
dog treats? You like dogs.
Too bad your guys are out of luck. What?
You like dog treats, right?
Yeah.
You like dogs?
Well, Tucker does.
Tucker.
Well, there you go. How about a gnome dog treat container? Ooh. So many possibilities.
And they're all lame.
No, they're not. You're saying that the people that watch and contribute to this
No,
show
I'm
are
saying
lame?
you. All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Wednesday night. Glad you're in. Slick Rick's doing sports. Delgado's doing the news. Kevin Downey Jr. sitting in is doing some news as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. So the more clips that come out of this Kamala Harris on MSNBC with Stephanie Ruhle, who, of course, like 3 nights ago was on Bill Maher's show making the case for why she doesn't need to answer questions, and
Right.
she's only here to run against Trump, and she's. I mean, the only thing she didn't do today is go sit on her lap on TV. That's about the only thing she could have done more to go. Have you ever served bacon, lettuce, whatever? What the hell did you say? Did
Two all beef
Two all
patties.
beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese. Oh, what an opener that is!
Yeah. Great. Good stuff.
Couple other
by Stephanie Toole.
couple other sound bites from this extraordinary interview. Here's one.
Expanding that child tax credit, or you mentioned housing before, giving that extra money for a first home. If you can't raise corporate taxes, or if GOP takes control of the Senate,
the look.
where do you get the money to do that? Do you still go forward with those plans and borrow?
Well, but we're going to have to raise corporate taxes, and we're going to have to raise.
Taxes?
We're going to have to make sure that the biggest
fair share.
corporations and
Fair share.
billionaires pay their fair share.
There.
That's just it. It's about paying their fair share.
Yeah.
I am not mad at any.
Yeah, that's actually not it at all, honestly. And the look on her face when she's asked this, not even. I mean,
It's a softball.
I mean, it's a little more than maybe a softball question. The look on her face and the incoherent answer, and the answer she gives is not it at all. Because as we've said, you could take every dollar from every billionaire, every dollar, not just taxed it, take it all. You'd run the government for about a week. So this whole they have to pay their fair share is so economically illiterate and nonsensical that somehow is the answer to their spending wish list. Is that they can't tax enough,
right?
Those people.
She makes it sound like if they would only pay their fair share,
everything is a utopia.
everything
from
would be
there.
perfect. But they're just so conniving, and they don't want to pay and all this stuff. And let's face it, when she says raising corporate taxes, she means taxes on businesses, which means raising taxes on who the businesses do business with. And if you're a consumer, that would be you. So if you think corporations are in the business of not making a profit, you're a moron. And if that's you, vote for Kamala Harris, because that's what she's saying. She's saying we're going to raise it on the corporations. Now the corporations could be, I don't know, Home Depot, Lowe's, any number of stores you might shop at. And
I heard that.
and guess what? When those taxes are put upon them, they have shareholders they have to answer to, which means they have to go ahead and raise prices. Now, who pays for those raised prices? That's you, the consumer. She won't say that. She'll just go back to the fair share, millionaires and billionaires and these greedy corporations. That's their tagline. It's a bumper sticker. It's a T-shirt, but it's garbage. And I'm glad that, believe it or not, Stephanie Ruhle actually, in an article that came out tonight at 7, Damon, is calling out Harris for dodging on how she'd raise taxes. Yeah. There's an actual article. Let's see. MSNBC host Stephanie Ruhle called out VP Harris.
I saw her with Nicole Wallace. She doesn't exactly. She says, she kind of gives her a soft, says, well, she doesn't really answer the question, about where she'd get the money from. It's not like she's not really calling her. I saw the clip. I don't. We could pull it up and I don't.
We don't have to play the clip. I'm just saying she was appearing on Deadline White House after the interview, and she admitted that Harris did not answer the question. I think it's kind of funny that she just did an interview with her. She didn't answer her question, but then here's Stephanie Ruhle complaining about it. Well, Stephanie, it's your job to ask a follow-up. That's what good reporters do.
Yeah, you know what? Any reporter who interviews Kamala, the only words they need to know to ask, and it would be the end of their career. Well, what exactly does that mean?
Yeah,
that's all you got to say. Mm-hmm. If you could just say that, they'd pretty much be buried. That's all you got to say.
That, or how do you do that? How would you do that? What would that look like? Give us a detail.
Yeah, it's pretty much all the same. There's a different version of the same thing.
Right.
Well, someone said, give me one or two things you'll do to fix the economy, and she always defaults to, I was raised in a middle-class McDonald's.
Yes.
A middle-class McDonald's,
yes.
As opposed to those high-class McDonald's.
Here's one more from the interview.
Home ownership for too many people in our country now is elusive. Gone is the day of everyone thinking they could actually live the American dream.
Gone is the day of everyone thinking they can live the American dream. Again, I started the show and I'll say it again. She talks as if she's not the incumbent.
Yeah.
What is this? You are in charge of the American dream for people for the last 4 years. Your party is in charge of the American dream for people for 12 of the last 16 years in the White House. What is this talk? As if she is some outsider who's just floated in from nowhere. Gone are the days. We have to move from the policies that we've proven don't work. This is the strategy. Are people paying attention to this?
Probably not. But it falls in line with her whole campaign attitude, a new way forward, right? She talks about a new way forward. Looks like a lot like, I don't know. Let's see, you're gonna own nothing and like it. That's what that new way forward is kind of starting to sound like, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know Kevin was like it.
Yeah. She did that whole, my dad said, if you have too much money, well, then some of it needs to go to someone else.
Right.
She kind of forgot that Obama's now he's collecting mansions.
She told that to Oprah, I think.
Yeah. Oprah. She's collecting mansions like I collect lunch boxes. Obama's got 4 mansions now.
Yeah. All right, let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell, MyPillow. LFS6P is the code to use at checkout. Slick, what's going on?
Well, breaking news, Dodgers former pitcher Hideo Nomo is coming out of retirement. No, Here we go, Big D. Major League Baseball heating up. Now, we have the Mets right now. Frank the Tank is my tank. The Mets Atlanta, the doubleheader got moved till Monday now.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's going to be very interesting because those two guys are within one game of each other for that wild card spot in the East. Looks like, Milwaukee has clinched the division in the Central. The Dodgers and the Padres have clinched playoff spots. So that means pretty much Arizona, Atlanta, and the Mets will be vying for that last two positions of a wild card to get in. So Mets really, they still got a lot of work to do, but we will definitely keep an eye on that. Get to some quick baseball scores right now. Update you again. Only 5 games to go. Guardians lead the Reds 5-2, top of the 9th. Tigers over the Rays 5-1, bottom 7. Bottom of the 3rd, Royals over the Nationals 3-0. Yankees, that's another game with implications because Yankees are trying to close out one win and the Yankees have won the division. They trail 8-3 in the bottom of the 5th. We'll see what they could do there in Yankee Stadium. Blue Jays 4-1 over the Red Sox, top 7, bottom 4. White Sox continue to lead the Angels 3-2. Marlins over the Twins 3-2 in Minnesota, middle of the 4th. Top of the 2nd, we have the Brewers and over the Pirates 2-1, actually final earlier tonight. Guardians again 5-2 over the Reds, and Phillies 9-6 over the Cubs. Last but not least, Mariners took care of the Astros 8-1 earlier today. Shohei Ohtani, his 50-50 ball is set to auction with the starting bid at $500,000. LA Dodgers star Shohei Ohtani's 50-50 home run ball was reportedly been co-signed to Collectibles Marketplace Golden, and an auction for the coveted piece of MLB history will begin Friday, ESPN reports. Ken Golden, founder and CEO of Golden, said that the co-signer, who is choosing to remain anonymous, was offered an unconfirmed amount of money for the historic ball by the Dodgers, but chose to auction it instead. Shohei Ohtani, the first Major League Baseball player to hit 50 home runs and steal 50 bases in a season. Wow.
All right, quick hour 1, hour 2 coming up. We'll do some more sports with Slick, more news with the boys right after this. What's the Caitlin Clark game? They got to win tonight or they're out. What's the score? We have a score there, and that's probably the biggest game of the night.
Run around with a black eye.
Did you see that video? Was that woman punished for that?
No.
No, she got an award actually.
Jesus.
Yeah, 55-50.
Okay, well, at least they're
up in Connecticut.
Yeah, it's at Mohegan. Yep.
3:30 they go. Fire it up. 57-50.
All right, I'm back from eating more dinner. What'd you say, Slick? Yeah, nice. Enjoy it.
Delgado on the carbs tonight, yes.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I'm so hungry. I was so hungry. I was running late.
Someone says, Kev, come to North Dakota to visit. Snow will be coming. Only a short time.
Ooh.
It's not snowing yet?
I used to perform in Grand Forks a lot.
Did you?
They always have snow.
After Halloween, I would.
Peggy P in YouTube, her new favorite song is Sweet Nome, Alabama.
Oh.
That's a good one.
E.T. phone gnome.
Did you guys see Soros buying 200 radio stations? Yeah, we talked about it last night.
What was that last night? Emails.
All right, hour 2, 9 p.m. on the East Coast, live from Studio 6B. Glad you're in. Slick's going to do some sports. Delgado's got some news. Kevin Downey Jr. sitting in's got some news as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Well, Delgado, I don't want to step on your story, but I have the DOJ from Just the News tonight.
Okay.
DOJ's I.G. Horowitz won't say how many confidential human sources were among crowd on January 6, 2021. Big story.
Huge.
Because this has been bantered around, and people who are sitting in the gulag have said all along that there were, and they went into the Capitol and they were on the grounds and everything else. And I.G. Horowitz today says, I'm not in a position to say that, both because it's in draft form and we have not gone through the classification review, and so I need to be careful, he said. Let me translate for you. Yes, there were.
Yeah.
Yes, there were.
Contrary to Christopher Wray, who's been on Capitol Hill many times saying, I can't talk about it. As far as he knows, there was no FBI personnel. The way he danced around it and claimed that, well, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, it turns out that the IG, Mr. Horowitz, and it was really just Thomas Massey just leading him down the road. Did you see what Thomas Massey did?
I have not seen it, so why don't we start with those?
It was wonderful. Let's start with cut number 12. This is Thomas Massey asking Horowitz how many confidential human sources were on the ground. Now again, it's not what he says, it's what he didn't say or how he said what he said. Check this out.
Do you have evidence of the number of confidential human sources that were operating on the Capitol grounds on January 6th?
Our report will include the information in that regard.
Can you tell us today how many there were? Were there more than 100?
I'm not in a position to say that, both because it's in draft form and we have not gone through the classification review, and so I need to be careful on what.
So we're 4 years in.
Yeah. So Massey gets him right there when he asks him for a number. See, that was the little trickeration that he had on him.
Will your report have the number? And he says, right. Play that one more time, because he really gives it all away in the first answer, even before Massey presses him.
Do you have evidence of the number of confidential human sources that were operating on the Capitol grounds on January 6th?
Our report will include the information in that regard.
Thank you. Right, that's a yes. Mm-hmm. That's 100% yes. As he's almost shaking his head as he puts his hand down, says, "Yes, so we'll have that in there.
We'll have that.
That'll be in there, sir. Yes, sir. We'll serve you up a nice number there, no problem."
Yeah. And then in cut number 13, he asks I.G. Horowitz how many actually went into the Capitol. And listen to this. This is interesting too.
What we do know is you're going to expose that there were confidential human sources at the Capitol. There. Can you tell us today how many went into the Capitol?
Listen to
I'll have that information in the report. I'm not able to speak to information in there, both because it's in draft and we get a response from the department and the FBI, but also because I don't know yet what's classified and not classified.
You know what you're not hearing in any of those answers?
Yeah.
No!
There were no confidential human sources. There were no FBI personnel. You're not hearing a no out of that.
And do you know when that report was due?
Yeah. Like 3 years ago.
Yeah. We're coming up on, it'll be 4 years in February when it was due.
And that's what makes it so destructive that we will find this out now, just like on the Trump news the other day that I was fired up about. This is the same stuff. It's the same stuff. This is why it's been destructive to people's lives. It's been destructive on their part purposefully, that we will find out now what we knew then. It will be confirmed.
Yeah.
Another conspiracy theory that will be true. Another Babylon Bee headline that will be true.
Yeah, and I got one more cut from Massey. Actually, this was the part I was thinking of, where he follows up with that question. Again, if they went into the Capitol, and then he kind of like throws it out there, but if they win it, right? It's just a master class of how to get him to give you the information you want without him giving you the information so he can say, look, I didn't answer the question. So he covers his own while Massey gets the answer he wants. This is cut 14.
If they broke the law, if they went into the Capitol, which we pretty much know there were confidential human sources who went into the Capitol and right there alongside of everybody else, wouldn't they need to follow DOJ CHS protocols? And do you know if those were followed?
They should follow CHS protocols, and again, we'll include that information in the report.
Do you know how many were reimbursed for travel?
This is a better question.
As I sit here, I don't recall the number.
So there's a number.
But I recall, or you won't tell us.
Well, and if I did know it, I wouldn't be in a position to tell you because we still have to go through.
We're 4 years into this.
Yeah.
Again, what you haven't heard in any of those answers is a no.
Yeah. And the reimbursement question was perfect because he kind of softened him up and he basically said, "Oh, but do you know how many were reimbursed?" Well, the number will be in there. So he just confirmed,
Bingo.
yes, there were reimbursements made.
I'll bet it's more than one.
Yeah. Just amazing stuff. And again, Thomas Massey just doing a kick-ass job on the Hill with those questions to Horowitz. Also, what came out of this was the DOJ Inspector Horowitz criticizing the FBI over the whistleblower treatment. I don't know if you saw Marcus Allen today.
I heard about this statement he made.
This statement that he had, and we happen to have it here.
Let's listen to it.
Just part of it anyway. This is FBI whistleblower Marcus Allen. This is cut number 15, where he talks about what happened to him once he became a whistleblower. Check this out.
I would just say that I consider the hearing today my last act of service as a public servant for the United States of America. And I'll give you my professional opinion. I was an intel professional for our country for many years, and I would give recommendations, and I'd also look at indications and warnings. So I would offer this to the American people as my warning to them. Since this is a warning to the American people, I say, I personally have no confidence that the FBI will rein in its own conduct. I've been persecuted along with Garrett, Steve and Kyle, and countless other whistleblowers. It is my opinion that the Bureau used reprisal and fear to control the workforce.
Yeah, and that was just part of his statement. He also went on to talk about how, as his last recommendation for the American people, they should make sure to get out and vote, take advantage of the Second Amendment, and also to stock up. I don't know what he's alluding to, but you can only imagine what he's alluding to.
Yep. He's saying it without saying it.
He's saying it without saying it. That be prepared for unrest if Donald Trump wins. I think that's what he could be alluding to. I'm not sure. I won't say definitely, but it kind of, if I was going to place $2 on it, that's where I'd place my $2.
Sticking with the IG's report for just 1 second. This is how the FBI director behaved and reacted when asked by Congress, specifically this Congresswoman Sparks, about confidential human sources and January 6th. Let me remind you of this interaction.
Did you have confidential human sources? I think you never answered that question on January 6th in the Capitol. Did you have some?
I'm sorry, what's the question?
Confidential human sources. Did you have them on January 6th in the Capitol?
Well, again, I'm never going to be getting into when and where we have or have not used confidential human sources. But
are you willing to stand the record that you had no confidential human sources that went into Capitol on January 6th?
As I've said consistently, I'm not going to get into where we have or have not used confidential human sources. I can tell you that if you are asking if the violence at the Capitol on January 6th was part of some operation orchestrated by FBI sources or agents, the answer is no.
No, I didn't ask you that. I asked, so did you investigate if any confidential human sources? Did you do any investigation and looking at that? So you're not answering if you had any or not. So if you had potentially, did you do anything you needed to make sure to investigate that none of your sources did anything wrong? If they did wrong, they were prosecuted the same way, like you're trying to prosecute a lot of people that really, even in Supreme Court ruled recently that some unconstitutional charges.
Let me just add that there have now been, I think, 180 individuals who've gone to trial, in addition to the 850 who've pled guilty.
Right, but I think the problem is you put these charges, a lot of people would put guilty. But let me say just quickly, because I only have 10 seconds.
Yeah.
There you go.
That behavior seems a little strange now with the IG's report that we're about to get. We clearly know now he was clearly lying or evading, whatever you want to call it. He knew. And by the way, we knew.
You know who didn't know and will never admit it? The same knuckleheads that thought Hunter's laptop was Russian cod swallop and Trump said to drink bleach and eat horse goo to get over COVID. We're always right on these. They're always wrong. They're 0 for 39, and they will never admit it.
No.
Those are the people who said the Titanic is unsinkable. You guys are conspiracy theorists and are still on it today. Those are those idiots, the ones we fight with on Facebook,
right?
Who will just never learn.
Yeah, they'll never say, you know what, you're right. There's something screwy about building number 7. They'll never admit it. Just collapses. Stop. Was never hit by anything. Knock it off. Billions of dollars missing that were announced from the DOJ that went missing the day before. What happened? Oh, everybody stopped asking about that.
Is this a 9/11 discussion all of a sudden?
I'm just alluding to things. I'm just alluding. I'm throwing it out there.
But
Do your research.
But Ray's behavior, listening back on that now, takes a little new shape on what a weasel he is. Do we expect them ever to tell the truth? Of course not.
Was that a surprise?
Yeah, I guess that's, what are we talking about here? Not a surprise at all. But Horowitz today, and you're right, Massey got exactly what he wanted out of him.
Yeah.
And that is that everybody who has said this is absolutely right. And people's lives have been ruined over it. And these guys knew all along. And by the way, when you mix this with John Solomon's reporting yesterday, if you want to be Delgado and put the Reynolds wrap around your ears, I mean, it's not that far of a stretch to think that they saw that they knew they could direct this crowd into something that was probably not good. They knew it would make Trump not look that good. And they were prepared with their people on the ground, almost as if this was some big plan. Yeah. I know John Solomon disagreed with me last night. And I respect John as much as you can respect anybody. But I don't know. It stinks to high heaven if you ask me.
Yep.
All right, 13 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. More news and sports coming up.
What? Where is Zia? I want to do battle with him.
Oh, Zier's in.
He's near the Zia.
I think he was in Georgia
Wisconsin?
yesterday. He's in Michigan. I think
he's on the road.
Yeah, he's on the road back from Georgia. He was here for like 5 minutes today.
He's on the road every
way
day
to Michigan.
Yeah, he's on the road every day till the election.
Oh wow! Really?
Yep.
Wow! Oh, good
wow!
for him.
Child of the King. Did you
Child
see
of
this?
the King, $200 super chat. Thank you very
That's-
much.
that's
What is
special.
that?
Great way to support the
Child
show.
of the
We
King's
appreciate
a
it.
special cat, man. That's a special
No matter
cat.
what they do, God is still in control, people.
Amen.
Breathe and be at peace. On behalf of all of the chat, we support you. Buy some pizza, boys. Child of the King, thank you
Wow.
very much. Very generous.
That's pretty awesome.
Child
as
of
you
the
have
King, man.
continually been. And thank you for the super chat on YouTube. It's a great way to support the show.
It is.
You know, somebody wrote in, Aaron, didn't someone in say, well, I want to make a donation and I don't really want to buy anything. I just want to make a donation.
Yes, Tweet Potato.
Well, yeah, we have
Sweet
a donate.
potato.
We have a donate thing on. I mean, I never talk about it because I don't want people just to. I'd rather them get something if
Yeah,
they're going to spend
yeah.
money.
Yeah.
Right.
But there is a donate to us thing on the website on
Yes.
the contact us page.
You should do a donation.
On the right-hand side.
Yeah, you should do the donation and put the little gnome guy up there. Click the gnome for a donation.
I'd much rather you get something for your money. So go buy My Pillow or something.
Yeah.
Buy Crazy Town coffee.
And I had that yesterday. I have it every morning.
Really?
Yeah.
What about a welcome mat that says "Gnome, sweet gnome"?
Kevin, you're not supposed to be.
Oh,
getting,
what are you? Hey, what are you, a comedian?
You are not supposed to be getting in on this.
I love it.
We got a comedian here, Kevin. Oh, man. That's going to be unbelievable.
Maybe we can get AI to generate Dorothy going, there's no place like gnome. There's no place like gnome.
Right.
Real print style is on all of these right
I'll
now.
lend them my boots.
I'm going to make a coffee.
Sure.
Wait, does he have reads here?
You have reads?
Oh, man.
No coffee for
Crazy
you.
Town coffee. That'd be your first read.
Matter of fact, I'm going to go make myself a coffee.
You have 2 reads here, and you have a guest tonight.
You would drink coffee
Oh, yeah, I
this
guess
time
at
of night.
9:30.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, what?
You would not.
Dude, caffeine?
Oh, okay.
I have caffeine out there and decaf.
Wow.
What am I doing here? AMAC. Birch Gold.
Birch Gold.
AMAC Birch Gold. I sound like the blues, 17 past the hour on a Wednesday night, Real America's Voice. Let me talk to you about our friends over at AMAC. In just a few short weeks, Americans will head to the polls with critical issues at stake: the economy, global conflict, border security, parental rights, our national debt, and more. It can feel overwhelming, but what if there was a simple way for you to unite with others and fight against the policies that are harming our beloved nation? Well, there is, and that's by joining AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. Join them while you're joining over 2 million patriots who are committed to saving the country we love. Visit amac.us/Studio 6B, and for just $1, you can become a part of this powerful movement. AMAC stands for the values of its members and fights every day to protect the individual liberties outlined in the Constitution. As a member, for $1, you'll enjoy over 100 discount companies that share your values. Plus, you'll receive a subscription to the bi-monthly AMAC magazine. Why is AMAC offering all of this for just $1? Well, because this is their call to action. Now is the time to stand up, protect your values, and secure the future of our nation. Your voice matters, and together, you can make a real impact. Visit amac.us/Studio 6B to join AMAC today for just $1 and take a stand for America while you do it. amac.us/Studio 6B. Go right now. amac.us/Studio 6B. $1. Don't know how they do it. Birch Gold with a massive tax hike proposed by Harris. You heard it again tonight. An almost 40% top income tax rate. I guarantee it'll be higher than that. 7% increase to the corporate tax rate. Capital gains tax on unrealized gains. And the fact that she's proposing to add to the almost $2 trillion to the current $2 trillion deficit. So that would make it $4 trillion. You might be thinking it's time to make more of your savings tax sheltered and inflation sheltered. Well, how do you do that? Well, This is where you trust the good people at Birch Gold to help you. Birch Gold can assist you in converting an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. And the best news is you don't pay a penny out of pocket to do it. Just text the word America to 989898 and get a free information kit on gold. There's no obligation, just information on fortifying your savings before the crazy really hits. Birch Gold has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Thousands of satisfied customers. You can trust Birch Gold. Text America to the number 989898 and get your free information kit on gold today and see how you can convert an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. And again, you don't pay a penny out of pocket to do it. Protect your savings, hedge against inflation. Do it all with Birch Gold. Go right now. Text America on your mobile device and send it to 989898. That's your first step to get started. All right, 20 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell, MyPillow. LFS6B is the promo code to use if you shop at MyPillow. We do appreciate when you use it because you do get great stuff from Mike Lindell, and that's how we want you to spend your money. Get great stuff for it, and you do that when you shop at MyPillow, and you get a great savings if you use promo code LFS6B at checkout. Slick, what's going on?
All right, Big D. Well, up north in your other residency, that'd be the Mohegan Sun, where I know you spent a lot of money over the years. Well, big game tonight in WNBA. Of course, the great Caitlin Clark. She's been quite a story, her rookie season, which she's trying to extend. She's on the brink of being eliminated in the playoff games. They are down 1-0. It's a best-of-3 series. However, they just went ahead 71-70, Indiana, coming back and scoring 7 unanswered points. Actually, check that, 8 unanswered points. Caitlin Clark with 25 points right now in the game. She just hit a 3, Big D. So 3:39 to go in the fourth quarter. We'll keep track of that. The great Caitlin Clark, who really has overcome quite a bit this season to be what she is, obviously having a great year. And player who gave Caitlin Clark a black eye won a prestigious WNBA award. How do you like that? Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart. This is, pronounce it right here, DeJoni Carrington, the Connecticut Sun forward who gained internet infamy last weekend for poking Caitlin Clark in the eye, has been named the WNBA's most improved player of the year for 2024. Carrington, 26, saw her average points per game shoot up by nearly 5 points in her first year as a regular starter, and then increase from the 3 rebounds per game over to 5. However, that Carrington will be remembered for most this year is her finger poke of Caitlin Clark in Sunday's game 1 of the Suns' 3-game playoff series. So she got rewarded for that. But and actually, earlier tonight at the Mohegan Sun, Caitlin Clark had to go to security, point out a fan. So I guess she was being harassed there in that WNBA game. So we will keep an eye on that. But right now, Indiana just kept keeping the edge over Connecticut. And wow, what a great game that's going to be. And we're going to keep a track of her. Sun just went up 73-71, 3:14. So we'll be back with the last segment of sports to do that. And Orioles continue to lead the
Slick.
Yankees.
We got breaking news. We got to get to.
Breaking news. Believe it or not, from the newsroom, Mayor Eric Adams of New York City has been indicted.
Wow.
By a grand jury on charges connected to a federal probe that has shaken his administration. We were just talking about this the other night, how they're going after everybody in his administration. Well, they finally got around to him. The historic indictment is expected to be unsealed tomorrow by U.S. Attorney Damian Williams, according to sources. First being reported by the New York Times, Adams is going to surrender to authorities early next week, according to sources. The exact accusations remain unclear, but are believed to be connected to an alleged kickback scheme involving the Turkish government illegally funneling money into his mayoral campaign, according to sources. It's also uncertain how the indictment is related to the sweeping set of September 4th raids that targeted several high-profile Adams administration officials, again, which we referenced in the story we were talking about earlier this week, which sent City Hall into a weeks-long tailspin as news reports emerged of investigations focused on this alleged corruption in the mayor's inner circle. By Wednesday morning, the word had spread that senior City Hall officials would soon be indicted, but they didn't mention the mayor. But now they are. The indictment unveiling will become federal prosecutors recently demanded City Hall cough up all communications between the administration and Turkey and 5 other foreign countries amid the long-running probe. Wow. So that is huge story.
Yeah.
And
as Clay Travis points out, remember all this started as soon as he got on the Biden administration for their handling of immigration.
Yeah.
The investigation started then.
Yeah, and there you go. He poked the wrong bear, I guess.
Wow.
Or this could be completely independent. Who knows?
Yeah.
I doubt it.
All right, so this is breaking. A lot of stuff breaking right now on this on social media. We'll watch it over the next few minutes, next 10, 20 minutes before the end of the show. We'll give you whatever we can get. But that is breaking news. So let's go back to we'll go back and finish sports now. I wanted to get that out there. Slick, what else is going on?
No, that's pretty much wrapping sports for this segment. Big deal. I'll come back with scores a little bit later. That's a pretty stunning story about Mayor Adams, although not surprised so much, but just good to see justice being served.
Well, I mean, is it surprising? I mean, we saw people. I mean, obviously, we saw all these people. Did we? I didn't get any inclination that this was going to him.
No, it was the other guys, right? The police, the commissioner, or something in police.
Let's face it. If they're going around, if they're going after all his surrogates, the people that are closest to him.
Well, just because he's a Democrat, so you just think, oh, it's never going to.
Right?
I mean, it's never going to.
Yeah, they got immunity.
But it's funny because I had a story from earlier today about how AOC called for Eric Adams to resign, and he, of course, fired back at her. So then, there you go. Amazing stuff as Adams issued a blistering response before he was arrested, slamming the representative as a fraud. For anyone who self-righteously claims people charged with serious crimes should not be in jail, to now say that the second black mayor of New York should resign because of rumors without even a single charge being filed, now there are charges, is the height of hypocrisy. I'm leading this city to protect it from exactly the kind of phony politics of AOC. The people in the city elected me to fight for them, and I will stay and fight no matter what until I get arrested. He's been arrested.
Daniel Horowitz says this is a resume enhancer in that city.
That's it.
All right, live from Studio 6B. We're back right after this.
Excellent. You want
me to ask you on air?
That's a fantastic dichotomy.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable. If you think about that, I don't know. I mean,
definitely Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, that was Jackie Robinson.
I mean, at least she got to stay in the best hotels. They had to find other places for him.
Did they
really?
Yeah.
And she could sit anywhere. Yeah.
There were stories where they couldn't go to restaurants. They'd show up for a restaurant and they'd kick them all out and be like, and the team would be like, well, if he can't eat here, we're not eating here. So.
Yeah.
Wow. What about from the other players, though?
It was dodgy.
It was dodgy for players from other teams.
Dodgers. That's what they called them, the Dodgers. That's a tough question. It's a good question, though. A very pointed question at this point.
Well, it's something you wouldn't expect today.
No. It is definitely, and I want to say reverse discrimination. I really feel it is.
Yeah,
I mean, that girl is getting pounded by these all those Irish girls.
She goes. I saw that the woman's hand. She goes to block the ball, can't block it. Does this? It boom right into her eye.
Oh yeah, pokes her in the eye, knocks her over. I mean, and then the kid is just unbelievable. She just doesn't stop.
I mean, I knew Eric Adams was corrupt.
Oh, God, yeah.
Crazy.
Wasn't he with the police department at one time?
He was a cop.
Commissioner, or he was one of somebody, right? Was he a cop?
Yeah, he was a troublemaker for the police. He was basically always
he was a snitch backstab.
He was always calling out racist shit where it didn't exist.
Yeah, wasn't he part of the 100 blacks in law enforcement or whatever they're called?
Bongino worked in the NYPD same time as he did, and nobody had a nice thing to say about Eric Adams.
Yeah.
Doo-doo-doo-doo. The mayor's in.
So who's
Mayor Adams?
Oh my goodness! Imagine we could get him on.
Imagine get him on.
Oh.
What's up, brother?
All right, 30 minutes past the hour on a Wednesday night, live from Studio 6B. Glad you're in Real America's Voice. Slick's doing sports. Delgado's going to do some more news. Kevin Downey Jr. sitting in. Has got some news coming up as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down, as always, on a Wednesday night. Tomorrow night, remember, we're going to be off, at least off the network. We'll be streaming on socials, or I'll be streaming on socials, but we'll be off the network because RFK Jr. and Steve Gruber will be doing an exclusive town hall right here on Real America's Voice, 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Harry on the Highway is already there, and that's going to be fantastic. So make sure you tune in tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, in our spot right here for RFK Jr. with Steve Gruber on Real America's Voice tomorrow night. So right now, please welcome back to the show the Chief of Disaster and Emergency Medicine over at the Wellness Company, Dr. Kelly Victory. Doctor, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, as always.
It's great to have you back. As we're heading into the change in weather, we're hearing about reports of rising COVID rates again and a new COVID variant called XEC. I have not heard about this. What is the latest on COVID here as we're heading into the change of, at least here in the Northeast, change of weather as the leaves start to change? Is this still something we need to be worried about?
Well, spoiler alert, COVID-19, just like myriad other respiratory viruses, are endemic. Yes, we are entering cold and flu season, and there are lots of them out there, rhinoviruses, coronaviruses, and certainly the most recent variations, mutations of COVID-19. The reality, however, is that COVID-19 has mutated exactly as we would expect any normal respiratory virus to do over time, meaning two things. Number one, it has become more contagious, more transmissible. But at the same time, it has become less virulent, less lethal, less severe in its symptomatology. And that's exactly what we are seeing. Despite the fact that COVID-19 was a lab-produced virus, which it irrefutably was, it has mutated in the way that a naturally occurring virus would. So yes, it's contagious, and if you keep shoving swabs up people's noses, you can continue with the scamdemic that we have lots of cases of it. But the reality is that people are not having severe symptoms. They can be treated easily with over-the-counter medications like most other upper respiratory viruses, meaning things like Tylenol and decongestants and some nasal spray and maybe a throat lozenge. But people are not ending up in the hospital, and there's absolutely no reason for people to be concerned about this.
Well, you wouldn't know that by looking at most of the doctors in this country. You walk in or you get these calls from CVS and they're talking about, get your shirt rolled up here so we can get the needles in you. And I'm thinking to myself, well, these things weren't effective when they were developed the first time around. Now that this thing, as you said, is mutated, how possibly could anybody think that going to get a vaccine for the flu, by the way, or for COVID at this point, or these boosters could be any more effective than they were the first time, and they weren't that effective then the second time around?
Absolutely correct. The shots for COVID did not stop people from contracting COVID, and they did not stop them from transmitting, to others. And they did not stop people from being hospitalized or dying from COVID. So it failed all across the board. Now that the virus has mutated several steps down the road, there isn't a chance that the current shots are going to provide any element of immunity to the COVID variation that is out there. And on top of that, we have overwhelming evidence of the harms that have been done by these mRNA injections. The idea that we are going to continue flogging the immune system over and over and over again with an mRNA injection, a genetic therapy, in hopes to stop you from getting what is now tantamount to the common cold is a fool's errand at best. In a good year, an influenza vaccine is somewhere around 50% effective. Recent studies have shown that the influenza vaccines are well below 50%. And the COVID vaccines, as they pale by comparison, they are not effective at all. We would be far better off focusing on things we can do to improve our overall immune health, meaning things like supplementing vitamin D, getting adequate sleep, regular exercise, good nutrition, those sorts of things, rather than focusing constantly on what's the next vaccine that's going to save me from a common upper respiratory virus.
Yeah. Let me switch gears just a little bit before I let you go. RFK Jr. Obviously has been on the forefront of vaccines and health in this country. In his campaign, obviously, talked about it, and now he's kind of obviously gotten out of the race. He's endorsed President Trump. They seem to have gotten together and said that this is going to be a big part of a second Trump administration. The RFK is going to really take on health in this country. Tell me your thoughts on that, on him, on how important that could be in a second Trump administration in the future of healthcare.
I think this is critically important, and there's been nothing that's given a bigger boost, I think, to Donald Trump's candidacy than the partnership of Bobby Kennedy Jr. and his bringing over his constituency. He has been an absolute titan in the fight for better health, to protect the health and wellness of our children. This goes way beyond his stance on vaccines and the profound damage that have been done by vaccines, long predating COVID, by the way. But he is really focusing on the issue of overwhelming disease in this country. The United States does not have a healthcare system. We have a disease care system. Over 80% of Americans are suffering from some element of a chronic disease, whether it's obesity, diabetes, heart disease, or some combination of those. And Bobby Kennedy Jr., I fully believe, is going to expose the fraud, the corruption, and the complicity of big ag, big pharma, big, in all of this, and the fact that we have weaponized those systems to make our population less and less healthy, while big pharma makes more and more money by creating a new, quote, cure every 15 minutes.
We've been speaking with Dr. Kelly Victory, of course, from the Wellness Company. You can go to twc.health/voice and check out one of their prescription medical kits. Again, whether it's the medical emergency kit, the contagion kit, the first aid kit, the travel kit, they've got one that's right for you in whatever situation you're in. twc.health/voice, promo code VOICE to save an additional 10% off. Dr. Victory, thank you so much for joining us. We always appreciate you coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Dr. Kelly Victory there from the Wellness Company. Again, check them out, twc.health/voice. Use promo code VOICE for an additional 10% off. All right, let's do some news. And here with the news is Rick Delgado. What's going on, Delgado?
All right, well, I got a few things I want to blast through quickly, like the Democrats in New York City that are soon going to be mayorless. What does the city do? They can't go after they can't go get.
Well, the governor
mayor,
has
right?
the power to remove him, so I'm assuming we were going to probably see that. I would think.
Right. But you would think they'd go to the deputy, but hasn't the deputy mayor also been indicted or investigated?
We'll have to get a whiteboard on this.
Yeah, I guess so. We're going to have to
appoint AOC.
Well, regardless of who's going to be mayor in New York, Democrats in New York are still losing it over the crime that's going on in New York. This is cut number one. You can hear it for yourself as they are sounding off. I guess they're not big fans of the way things are going in New York City. Check this out.
Have the dubious distinction, 100 murders in 466 days in office. Never before on both sides, Republican, Democrat, have you ever had 100 murders in Manhattan in 466 days. On day one, Alvin Bragg says he was not going to prosecute felonies. They give you all their fake statistics. Well, if you don't arrest nobody, you don't have no statistics.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
Wow.
Sounding very David Zerish.
Wish I had some passion.
But you could tell Democrats in New York City are not enjoying the Alvin Bragg, Eric Adams tenure running New York City the way it is, with the way crime is exploding.
You know, Eric Adams said a couple years ago that New York City has a brand.
Oh, yeah.
Missouri doesn't have a brand. New York City has a brand.
New York City has a brand.
It's got a brand, all right.
Yeah.
NYPD commissioner resigned in disgrace. He's now been indicted.
Mm-hmm.
The second one got raided already.
Well, yeah. So I wonder what brand we want to slap on this. I'm not sure it's a brand that most people want to be associated with.
Yeah.
Cellmate
As the city's
C482.
falling apart, you've got gangs taking it over. It's just a total, utter disaster.
Yeah, all violence. It always seems to come from the left, right? Whether they're stoking it with their policies of cashless bail, or if they're just saying it out loud, like Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo, where she, again, just after the second Trump assassination attempt, and we find out of at least 5 hit teams looking to take out Donald Trump. This is cut number 3. Biden-Harris's own Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo calls for Trump to be extinguished. I wonder what she means by this. This is cut number 3. Listen for yourself.
What he says is the opposite. It's just another lie. Like, how did we get here? Let's extinguish him for good. We have an answer. We have a remarkably talented candidate who is sincere, who's pragmatic, who's open. Let's just get it done.
Yeah.
You know what the thing is? I don't know Gina Raimondo, but it's just they're so loose with the the verbiage.
Yeah.
Do I sit here and think that that she means what we think she meant? No, I don't, obviously. But they're so loose with the verbiage, and they so dehumanize him to a point where he has no meaning to them. He's not even human to them. That they just say things like that, and they don't even think about the fact that maybe I could phrase this a little better in light of what's going on. They don't even doesn't even cross their mind.
No, but as soon as you might say something that could be on the level of what they say, they freak out. How could you say this?
Yeah.
So it's what do you call it? What's it called?
Double standard.
Double standard. There you go. But let's face it, liberals have no standards. And neither does the current vice president, as she is now. Things are going bad because she's asking for the other debate, right? She's begging now for the other debate. It's got to be on CNN, won't do Fox. And she's also, get this, she's going down to the border. Did you hear this?
I saw that.
She's going to make a trip down to the border.
On the border, the restaurant?
Like to the border. Not, she's not going through Taco Bell drive-thru, running for the border. No, she says she's going to go to the border in Arizona. And CNN's Eva McKend, explaining Kamala's history, doesn't think this could be a good idea for the current vice president and current Democrat nominee. This is cut number 2. Check it out for yourself. CNN's Eva McKend.
The vice president has a long history, a well-documented history of really being an ally to these immigrant communities. She has 2 chapters in her book, I Say We Fight and We Are Better Than This, where she really makes a robust case for undocumented immigrants. During the Trump administration, she talked about a climate of fear. She dismissed the border wall as ineffective and a waste of resources. And even her guest at the joint session of Congress was a DACA recipient, was a dreamer. And so for her to go down there and characterize herself as tough on the border, to me, it isn't consistent with a lot of the policy positions that she previously has espoused.
Look at this guy.
Is she really saying that?
Hey, did you guys know she was going to say this? Are we live? Are we live?
Am I in the right network?
Is there a red light on that camera? Are we live?
He looked nervous, right?
Let's see that guy one more time, Aaron. Just go right to the end of that.
Right to the end.
When she starts to harp on the fact that she's a gold-plated phony.
It just starts
with a lot of the policy positions that she previously has espoused.
You guys hearing this?
She allowed to say that?
Wait, we're
Sebastian Cabot.
We're allowed to say that? on that scene?
I thought it was Sebastian Abbott.
KDJ brings up a great point.
What's that point again?
Cuomo just gave a speech at some church in Brooklyn.
Of course he did.
Yes.
Why would he be giving a speech?
And remember, he's been talking about running for mayor.
Yep.
Oh, God.
It's like, hey, I'm
Would she
here.
appoint
Here he comes.
And
the old boss.
Eat the sausage.
Eat the sausage. Would Hochul appoint? That's her old boss, right?
exactly,
Yeah,
because
sure.
that's her
Come
old
on.
boss. Would she appoint
that's
him?
the whole setup now.
Oh, did you guys cover the Letitia James thing? All election decisions must go through her office now. Everything. It was.
Well, that only is going to matter to these guys who think New York's in play.
What election?
Any election around the state.
Well, Jesse backed
If
us
there's
last
any
night.
discrepancy, she is the she's the referee. You can't change polling places without talking to her. Everything.
Slick, can you run for New York City mayor?
I'd love to. Let's go. I haven't been in the city in 4 years. I wouldn't know my ass from my elbow if I went up there. I wouldn't know the difference between Mulberry Street and Midtown. Come out.
I'm a big man on Mulberry
Let's go.
Street.
Come on.
I don't go. You know what kills me?
MAGA Square Garden. That's where I'd have my inauguration.
My favorite band, Duran Duran, is
Oh,
performing on my favorite
ta-na-na-na,
holiday,
the Reflux. Yeah.
Halloween. And I'm like, if I go, I'm going to get stabbed by some idiot.
Where are they?
Oh,
You
yeah.
don't get you're not going to get stabbed.
in the garden. So you
Are they
don't have
playing
to
the
get-
Garden Halloween?
Yeah.
Simon LeBone?
Oh, I
Yeah.
saw
We
them
might actually go.
He saw them in
last year
Forest
in,
Hills.
Yeah, I saw them last year in Forest Hills.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't go to that one. Was it
That was
good?
awesome.
Yeah, it was
awesome.
ordinary.
They're great.
Yeah.
See, but
Ordinary
at least
world.
with the garden, you don't even have to leave. You have to go.
Yeah, you don't have to go outside. You could just go from the train
Yeah.
up the stairs and then into the garden.
Drink
Dodge
the beer.
boogeyman.
Blue Moon on Monday.
Just got to be careful in the bathroom.
Yeah. I dodged the.
They're great. Oh, you like Duran Duran? I didn't know that. They're good. They're good band. That was a big 80s band, man. Wow. One of the best.
Damon's singing, no, please don't.
Why, you sing. You have a good voice.
Fine, I will not.
These people, they're terrible. They don't appreciate the talent.
Well, if they don't want to go see him sing, they can just stay gnome.
Oh, man.
Aaron, stop laughing.
There's no men to this. There's no men to this, Big D.
This is all unbeknownst to me.
That's right.
I was raised in a middle-class family
of gnomes.
I hate all of you.
Oh, man.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio
No, man.
6B on a Wednesday night. What are we doing here? Let's do sports.
All right. Bad news.
All right. Sports is brought to you by Mike
We got
Lindell.
bad news coming up, Big D, on deck.
Oh, no. My Pillow, LFS6B is the code to use at checkout. Tweet Potato says she did the donation through the site. Thank you very much.
I was tweeting her.
We always appreciate any support we get. So, and speaking of that, you can support the show by using LFS6B at checkout. Slick, let's do some sports. What's going on?
All right, well, it's a wrap in the WNBA playoffs and a wrap in the great Caitlin Clark season, Big D. Yeah, Mohegan's son, and, well, she's done. 87-81, Connecticut pulls it out. Yeah, basically, Connecticut's son, they pulled it out 87-81 over the Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark with 25 points, but she shot 10 to 23. Didn't have her best
Not good.
night.
2 games, not good.
Yeah, no. Alyssa Thomas had 19 points for the Sun.
Shot terrible in game 1, too. Worse than tonight.
I know.
But tonight wasn't much better.
No, not much better for her. And listen, dynamite season, I would say she probably is a lock for Rookie of the Year, but you never know with the WNBA there. But good season for her. Hey, Indiana Fever, they didn't come in a sniff of the playoffs in some time, so it was a good move for her. And hopefully she'll be back next year. Oh, she will definitely be back next year, and hopefully a better season. But it's all over. The Sun are moving on, and that'll be pretty much the end of the coverage for the WNBA playoffs for this network. I can promise you that, or at least for this show.
They'll return to tens of people caring.
Exactly. Nobody. Yeah, that's the point. They're probably nobody's going to watch now. It's over.
Yeah, you're going to watch the attendance go down. You're going to watch the viewership on TV go down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, another team that may go down would be the Yankees here. They're losing to the Orioles 9-3, Rick, middle of the 8th. Orioles looking to gain a game, and they will likely gain a game on the well, I should be careful. I spoke earlier on the Rangers last night. They came back. White Sox 3-2 over the Angels, bottom 7. Also bottom 7, Marlins and Twins tied at 3 in Minnesota. The Cardinals 4-1 over the Rockies, end of 5, middle of the 1st. Giants and Diamondbacks, no score. Rangers blanking the A's 3-0, top of the 1st. And I gave you these scores earlier tonight on the other games. And that's pretty much a wrap in sports. Big D scores. Quiet night in sports. Not a lot of stories, really. I'll give you the scores, and that's pretty much the scoop. Big D, back to you.
All right, Slick, very good. Let's do some news with the host of the Kevin Downey Jr. Show, 10 to 11, weekday mornings on 103.9. LI News Radio right here in New York, Long Island, and that's Kevin Downey. What's going on?
Thank you, sir. I'm going to mispronounce his name, Javier Milei.
Milei, yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
Yep.
So Javier Milei clown slaps the UN the other day, giving a speech. Argentinian President Javier Milei, in his first UN speech, accused the International Organization of Human Rights hypocrisies and enabling authoritarian regimes. He says, "I'm here to warn you that we're at the end of a cycle. The collectivism and moral posturing of the woke agenda have collided with reality."
Love this guy.
Love this guy. He says it's over. He specifically criticized the Human Rights Council for granting membership to countries such as Cuba and Venezuela, both of which, he said, have poor human rights records. China, they're in there too, of course. And they've got the Uyghurs that they have enslaved. And he writes, "In this very house, which claims to defend human rights, we have allowed access to the Human Rights Council to bloody dictatorships such as Cuba and Venezuela without the slightest reproach." This guy, if you're not aware, folks, he's Argentina's Trump, if you could say. He's cleaning house. I love this guy. He's making waves. And this, if nothing else, should give you hope. I know sometimes things look bleak, but if Argentina can pull this hero out and have him turn things around and actually go up in front of the UN, which of course is dominated by the Chinese, and call them out, well, we can fix stuff here at home too. Keep an eye on this guy. I fear for his safety as I do for Trump's and Elon Musk's, but this guy is part of the big turnaround. I'm telling you that. I firmly believe that. Now, I've got something else here. If you're interested, we've got a Secret Service whistleblower claims a Trump rally in Wisconsin was canceled because they didn't have the resources. This is despite the fact that there have been 2 attempts. Some wacko named Crazy Bull just got arrested for threatening. I love that. You can't even give him a better name. Crazy Bull arrested for making 3 phone calls. And there's the Pakistani cat with ties to Iran. And of course, the 5 hit teams. You say, Rick, 5 hit teams?
Yeah,
5.
3 foreign, 2 domestic, they say.
So they said, we just don't have enough people to protect him. Keep in mind, and Josh Senator Hawley, whom I also adore, threw this out. He says, and I quote, "That same night, Secret Service secured a rally for Vice President Kamala Harris in the same state of Wisconsin." So they had, now keep in mind, this new guy at the Secret Service, his last name is Rowe, he swears Trump has everything that Biden has and Kamala has, and yet here's a whistleblower saying, nope, they don't. Now, the Congress just passed a bill that would give Trump all the advantages and resources that a sitting president does, but Biden hasn't canceled it yet. He was too busy going on The View to throw Kamala under the bus, which I do appreciate. Thank you, President Fingerdiddler, for that one. But let's wait and see how long they sit on this bill to sign, because no one seems to be in a big hurry. No. Big D.
I read this article this morning, and I had 2 different takes on it. I had the take that they just weren't willing to do it. I also looked at it first, and I thought, well, wait, is the Secret Service admitting here that there are threats coming from our enemies that they just don't think they can handle? How is it that they can't secure a rally in Wisconsin? They don't feel like they have the resources. They're not willing to give him the resources, or they feel like even with all the resources, they don't feel like they can protect him. Which one is it? Because there's a difference between the two. Mm-hmm. Are we sending a message to our enemies across the world that there is a level where we say, we can't protect you?
Didn't someone try?
I don't think that's acceptable.
No. Didn't someone try to kill Javier with drones that had bombs that they were going to drop? Was he the one they tried to do that to?
I don't know.
And that's just a drone. Speaking of drones, check this out.
Did you see the video, by the way? Now, my understanding of this video, Don Jr. shared it today. It was not posted recently. It was posted, I believe, on the Ayatollah's website back in 2022, is what I read. Now, I could be wrong about that, but did you see the video that they posted of the almost like a movie-esque type video of taking out Trump on a golf course that the Iranians put out?
Mm-mm.
Well, go ahead, Kev. I'll try to find it quickly before we end. While you do your story.
So the Senate had their own investigation into the Secret Service and how they could be so bad at their jobs. And this comes from Just the News. Full report was just released today. And they found some glaring problems. First of all, the counter sniper team didn't have the local radio, didn't have time to go pick it up. Normally they will do that. The U.S. Secret Service will go get local radios. He didn't have time to go get it because he was busy fixing his own because his radio was broken. The guy who was supposed to run the drone. Well, he was on the line with customer service from the drone manufacturer because he didn't know how to operate it. He's been there for 3 months, wildly uneducated as far as drones apparently shouldn't be anywhere near a president. They knew 22 seconds before the incel shot at Trump, they knew he had a gun. And they had 22 seconds to get the message to the stage, and they didn't do it. 22 seconds just to say, get him off, run to the stage, nothing. There was nothing they could do. And the sniper behind Trump saw cops with guns in their hands running towards the building where the incel was. And since he didn't have a radio, he had no idea what was going on. There were a million chances to catch this guy, a million chances to shoot him in the face before he shot Trump in the face, and they dropped the ball, and yet no one has been fired. And Cheadle is the only one she stepped down, obviously. She didn't get fired. But and everyone questioned, said, not me, I don't know, check out that guy. No one taking responsibility.
Yeah. What you're seeing right now, as Kevin's talking, is this video that the Iranians put out. We don't have time to get into it now, but as always, we salute our military, active and active police, firefighters, first responders, EMTs, all emergency personnel. Thanks, guys, on the show. Thanks, Aaron Fran. Great job, as always. Most of all, thank you, the live from Studio 6B audience. We will see you Friday night. I'll see you tomorrow night, 8 to 10. We'll be streaming, but we will not be here. We will not be on the network. We'll be back on Friday night. Vinnie Mac will be with us. Kevin Downey Jr., have a great weekend. We will see you next week. Enjoy the rest of your night, everybody. Live from Studio 6B. We'll see you on Friday.